Teddy, I pay more at McDonald's breakfast than I will be betting on the NBA All-Star this weekend. So you got me by a little bit of a margin there. Watch what you bet here on the networks, Teddy. That betting show, you watch this. Now watch what you bet tonight. Interesting one here because the MAC doesn't get a lot of play, the Mid-American Conference, outside of Tuesday night and Wednesday night football. You got two 20-win teams teeing it up tonight here. Line on the move also. 2.5s around this morning. Now shifting to Buffalo, -3.5 total. Currently sitting, let's see what we have as an updated number here, 160.5. So that also on the move as well, just from a few hours ago, 157. 7 p.m. tip tonight. Buffalo, no slouch on the season, 13-8-1 against the spread, 7-5 against the spread on the road. Toledo, 11-1, Teddy, straight up at home, and 7-4. Really good battle. The two top teams in the MAC tonight coming live.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And let me start with this. I think Buffalo is a dangerous team come March. This is a squad that could make not just a run, not just win a game or two. They can make a deep run. They have that level of talent, and they've shown it against quality foes all season long. Certainly in non-conference play, they did it, and they've certainly been a very consistent team in the MAC. They annihilated Toledo in the first meeting. It was a 30-point win for the Rockets. And some interesting quotes from Toledo in the rematch. Head coach Todd Kowalski. We're a completely different team right now. That doesn't even seem like this season. We've moved beyond that game. Toledo's not known for having a huge home court arena. They're supposed to sell out the Savage Arena tonight. The senior guard, Chris Darrington, we weren't ourselves when we played there. We weren't playing Toledo basketball. We weren't connected. We just had a really bad night that night, and we're better than what we showed, and we plan on showing that on Friday, talking about the arena. I've never seen it sold out, or even with the top pretty much filled up. I'm excited to see what this place is going to look like. We're going to need that energy to win this game. This is one night where the Rockets' home court is worth more than their normal home court edge. That could be enough to get them over the hump against a team that throttled them in the first meeting.
Teddy, wild A10 here. Looks like from top to bottom, a very competitive conference. Outside of, the lower level rung teams, Massachusetts and Fordham, you're getting some pretty night-to-night basketball here. Top of the charts, Teddy, VCU 9-2, Davidson 9-2. They're going to take on St. Joe's tonight down in North Carolina. If we take a look at the lines here, opened up at 11, 11.5, depending on where you're shopping offshore. Now down around to 10 at this point at most outlets. If we take a look at the updated over-under, 138.5. So that also on the move from earlier today. We had 135.5 money line splits plus 445 -610. St. Joseph's banged up, key players banged up, and it shows. 2-7 against the spread on the road this year. Davidson, Teddy, perfect 11-0 at home, but cash in tickets at 70% at a 7-3 clip at home this year as well. Should be a decent one here to watch some basketball. No NBA going on. Why not tune into the A10 tonight?
Well, I think Toledo Buffalo is going to be a better game than this one. I'm not sold on St. Joe's being able to hang tonight. They knocked off Davidson. You talk about Davidson with only 2 losses in conference. One of those came by 1 point at St. Joe. St. Joe was a 4.5-point dog in that game, and they stole it. All right, that was then. This is now. Remind you, Davidson last time at home against St. Joe's, 91-62 last year. They were laying 10.5, and they won by 29. It's a St. Joe's squad that got blasted at home by the Bonnies earlier in the week. Short turnaround. They're 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the spread, their last 4 on the road. All the losses coming by 8 or more. And it's worth noting, Davidson's going to remember that first loss. They've only had 1 loss since by 3 at UMass. They're the better team. They're in revenge. They're at home. This isn't a live dog, in my opinion. St. Joe's, it's been a rough season. It's not going to get any better tonight.
Touched on a little bit earlier, Ryder opens up as a favorite in MAC play tonight versus Monmouth. Two teams seemingly going in the opposite direction. Teddy, you talk about maybe a circle the wagons type game. Both of these teams are based in New Jersey. It's not a long way from Monmouth over to Lawrenceville, so it should be a good one there. Should have a nice little crowd set up there in the Ryder Gymnasium tonight at Alumni Gymnasium. The one thing that's interesting here, Ted, again, the line ripping in the opposite direction of what I would think it would be. Because if Monmouth was playing good basketball, they had a terrible start to the season, but played some incredibly tough competition. When we take a look right now and just look at the stats alone, 1-8 ATS at home this year, 6-19 ATS on the season as a whole. And if you look at conference play, Monmouth's coming each and every night, 9-4 against the spread, getting, creeping up there around that 7.5, 8 range. This is going to be an interesting one. That whether or not you watch the game or not, I like to look at lines like this because sometimes I get a little bit puzzled by it because of how underperforming Ryder did. Now, are they going to come back to the median, Teddy, here and say, you know what? They were picked to win the Metro Atlantic to start the season, haven't played well. Sooner or later, they're kicking in because they're very talented. What gives here tonight, Teddy?
Look, Ryder is 6-21. You talked about 6-19 this year. They closed out last year 0-2. They're 6-21 ATS their last 27 line games. That does not produce a betting bandwagon. It's the antithesis of a betting bandwagon. Nobody wants Ryder these days. And yet the wise guys really want Ryder tonight. Two teams coming in opposite directions. 5 straight losses for the Bronx versus 4 straight victories for Monmouth. But when you start to look a little bit closer, this is a Ryder team, as you mentioned. Talent-wise, they're as good as anyone in the conference. The last 5 losses in overtime, by 1, by 2, by 4, and by 7. So they've been in every game. They just haven't been able to close them out. Against this opponent on this floor, in theory, they should be able to do that. So I can understand the Ryder money, even though I'm not betting it. You're not betting it. Worth noting that Ryder at home has been an under machine, cashing only 2 overs in the last 10 tries.